Hello, duelists, and welcome to the King's Courts. And here we are for another hero discussion video. Now, okay, let's address the elephant in the room, the big one. Now, let's be real. Right now, it seems like Konami really wants to push the fire attribute as the new top attribute. Now, I would say for the longest time recently, we've been going through a lot of Earth being the best one. The Earth attribute, with Fenrir being in every deck right now and all that stuff. People still not wanting Redox to come back, even though I'm gonna be real with you. For the record, we're working on a ban list prediction video because, for the record, does anyone else still feel like it's not been that long since the most recent Yu-Gi-Oh ban list came out? Could just be amazing. Anyways, I personally, spoiler alert, think all the Dragon rules can come back to one. Really won't do much. Me personally. But it seems like Redox seems to be the big one people want to always bring up. So I feel like Earth lately has been pushed to be like one of the big attributes, and Earth has always been really good. Anybody remember Grand Soil? Anybody remember Grand Soil Psychic? That deck was like a monster back in the day. Till they rotted Grand Soil, if I remember right. If anyone watching this wasn't playing during the time, I'll put a picture of Grand Soul right here so you can check out what he does. But basically, we all know, dark and light pretty much have always been dark. I think has the edge. Dark has always been like the top attribute in the game, and it makes sense. If you want to go a little Yu-Gi-Oh history lesson, let's go back to the original Yu-Gi-Oh, the manga. Yu-Gi-Oh back then had and I would say it's kind of strayed away from it recently, but the original Yu-Gi-Oh always had like that bit of darkness, like black magic, really. The whole Egyptian aesthetic, but it always had like a black magic feel. Then you look at the Dark Magician. Tons of super Karibo. If I remember, it was dark. Sangen. So you just look at some of the most iconic cards, and the Curse of Dragon was dark, if I remember right. Summon Skull, Red Eyes Black Dragon. Although I think a lot of the newer stuff it's become more fire based, but not the point. The point is, dark has always been the top attribute in the game, realistically. And hell, even in Heroes, some of our best cards are dark. DPE, Plasma, some Dark Law himself. Wink, wink. We'll go over them in a sec. Are all dark monsters. Hell, Fusion Destiny doesn't even slow us down because it locks us into Dark Heroes. Big whoop. Well, okay. It doesn't actually lock us in. We can only special summon Dark Heroes after we use it. If you have a normal summon, you could still normal summon Stratos and use its effect, and use other non-Dark Heroes effects too, like if you have Honest Neos in your hand. You just can't special summon non-Dark Heroes. But basically, Dark has always been like the top element. And Fire has always kind of been, the one in the back, really. I would say it's... maybe we could try a tier list eventually. But I would say Dark is at the top, and Fire has always been, more in the back. Yeah, I would say, in the back. Because I think besides Salamangreat, the only other meta Fire deck I can think of off the top of my head, and now by meta I mean was it played throughout the during a given format, not just had a couple of wins here and there. I mean consistently was Infernoid, and shoot, even that's coming back too. So, and right now Fire is getting Rescue Ace. That's another new of the top Fire decks in the modern sense, the last year, really. And Fire is going to become even more ridiculous in February with the new set. So, the big one I wanted to talk about, though, I'm sorry for that tangent, Fire King. Fire King is, with the new structure deck, we're going to be seeing Fire King a lot. And we got to know how to play against it. Now, I've been working on some strategy, looking into the deck because, you want to hear a story? Channel member Michael, when we were in college, actually played Fire Kings, but not the modern one. It was a long time ago. Shoot, how long ago? Oh man. Heroes Stratos was still banned, if I remember right. And I was playing, shoot, what was I playing? I don't even remember. I might have been playing zombies. I don't remember. But I wasn't, but basically back then, um or was I playing, oh no. I was playing in shoot, I forgot. I gotta look it up. I'll look up, I'll ask Michael, maybe he remembers. But basically Chelmer and Michael was playing Fire Kings. And that deck back in the day used to be really annoying, but now it's gotten even crazier. Not gonna lie, was not expecting it to get this much support, but hey, what can you do? So now with the new structure deck and all these new versions of monsters, we gotta know how to play against them. So there are a lot of videos out there that on YouTube. If you follow us, you've probably seen them in your recommendations as well of other people talking about how to deal with them. But this video, I want to talk about specifically how heroes can play against these new the Fire King deck. So I'm gonna go over them and give like opinions on what are the weaknesses we have against Fire Kings and some of those weaknesses we as well have, like the pros and cons, and go over cards that can counter certain cards in the deck. So remember, this is always going to be hypothetical. You can't always go by it, but it's a good idea to discuss these. So if you have any other tips and tricks you want to share in the comments, go ahead and just leave them there. I'd love to read them, and I'm more than sure somebody else will find it just as useful. So before we get to that, shameless plug-in, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow our social media for more Yu-Gi-Oh content, and if you don't want to miss out on our banlist prediction video, which I know that always brings the fun out of people, but if you don't want to miss out on that, it should be out hopefully by Saturday. What today? Recording this video, it's Friday. Hopefully Sunday, because we got a couple things planned out for the week. But basically, so you don't want to miss out on that. Don't forget to follow. So now the Fire King as structure deck, or as Fire King strategy, as we know, they use cards from their hands to blow each other. They play cards that can blow up cards in their hand in order to play other monsters, their new cards from their hand, and summon them, and then they can use their effects to blow up other ones in their deck to go off. I know it's probably a terrible way to describe it, but I've been looking at it, and the more I look at it, the deck kind of reminds me a little bit of dinosaurs. You know how they focus on popping, Baby Saurus and Petite Pterodon. It kind of reminds me of that. So that strategy is there. So the good thing is, though, this deck focuses on destruction, which means we do got a couple of cards that can counter that in our extra deck. Two of our favorites, as a matter of fact. Okay, actually it's more than two, but I'll go over them in a sec. Move this right here. And the two cards I'm talking about are our good buddies, Neo Swingman, because the fact he can't be destroyed by card effects, so that's good right there, and DPE. Although this one's more of a secondary, because here's the thing. DPE can be destroyed by battle, but he can come back. And we gotta be careful if we use his effect, like, if I remember right, now, remember, the Fire King deck uses a continuous spell card, so if we use DP's effect to destroy something on the field and to destroy the spell card, because it's a continuous spell, it's got to be face up. So if it's not face up, its effect won't go off. Remember that. Same thing goes with Tanky. That was always the thing back in the day. That was another thing back in the day with the old school Fire King deck. They would play Tanky, and you got to remember that ruling in case that ever comes up for people. So yeah, that's one right there. Another one we got to go over. Wake Up Your Elemental Hero. Now, let's be real. We usually use Wake Up Your Elemental Hero as a combo piece. But hey, if we're in a tight spot or something, we get this on field, the fact our opponent is going to try to blow up our field, might not be a bad idea to have this. And same thing goes for Ab-Zero. But we got to be careful, since Ab-Zero and Phoenix, we got to be careful with how we use this. But I'm bringing up Ab-Zero because, remember, if we have it in the field to stop our opponent's search monsters, it might not be too bad. Like the little fiery chicken dude. I forgot its name. The new tiny one that's become like the face of Fire Kings. It's the card that basically starts off a lot of combos from what I've seen. So if we like get rid of that first, we should be okay. And obviously imperm and all that. And don't and another and also when it comes to stopping their continuous spells, don't forget if we got Mass Change set and if we have Stratos, if you go in the blast, bounce back their stuff, we're good there too. So just something to keep in mind. So that's some of the basic ones right there. Hero specific wise. Let's see. All right, main deck wise, let's be real. Cards like what's it called? Imperm are going to become a lot more useful. Our hand traps are Imperm has always been a good card, but let's be real, it's going to be even more useful. Nib as well, since it tributes them. Another card I wanted to bring up, but I can't find it. If we're playing Neo's heroes, or if you want a main deck Super Poly in this deck, with all the fire support coming out right now, with all the stuff, the Snake Eyes are going to be used. Oh my god, the Snake Eyes, those cards are crazy. The Snake Eyes engine, the Fire Kings, Rescue Ace, all this crazy fire support. Nova Master, I'll put a picture right here because I can't find mine. It's somewhere in all my bulk. Nova Master, maybe looking pretty good again right now. Let's if you want to go old school, think about it. We always played Ab Zero because if we have Liquid Soldier and Elemental Hero or something, we confuse them. But back in the day when the heroes would main deck Super Poly, you would play Ab Zero, you'd play Gaia, Eskiri Dao, The Shining, even Great Tornado, because they all those attributes will affect one deck, especially Eskiri Dao, since Eskiri Dao and The Shining used to be main deck, extra deck staples, because the fact that since light and dark is the most common type, especially at that time. But now, with all this fire support, Nova Master actually is looking pretty good. And everybody who plays heroes, we all know Nova Master has always been the one of the, a lot of people call them Omni Heroes, but Omni Hero is more like evolved now to the point to talk about, the deck we play here, Omni, E Heroes, Destiny Heroes, Vision Heroes, all that stuff. But back then that's what people called, that's like the unofficial title, but they're the heroes from the GX manga, so those cards, the element based ones, Escured out on them, because that's where the manga is different. God, I'm talking about the anime again. But really quickly, in case anyone's not sure, it's because in the anime there was the Western Justice League styles of elemental heroes, Bubbleman, Avion, classics like that, Sparkman, Burstinatrix. And eventually then they introduced Neos. Neos and the Neospatians. And Neos is like a combination of multiple things, but especially the character Ultraman. That's why he's got that pointy head and all that. And space. But in the manga, the masked heroes and the element-based elemental heroes, those are the element-based elemental heroes. We got Eskiri Dao, Ab Zero, and even cards like Elemental Hero Woodsman and Elemental Hero Ocean. That's also where they introduced the masked heroes, which are based off, Japanese tokusatsu's primarily Kamen Rider. So, a little bit of a hero trivia lesson right there. But basically, hey, if you ever gotta do like a Jeopardy here, Yu-Gi-Oh thing and heroes come up, call me. I'll be your lifeline. But basically, Nova Master is actually looking pretty good right now, and that's the first because Nova Master, like I said, has always been that one that not everyone plays. And that's sad too, because besides Burstinatrix, like a lot of fire-based E-heroes don't get a lot of attention. There's Heat, and there's Lady Heat, and there's the fusion between the two. Oh, I forgot what it's called. Inferno something. I'll put a picture right here. But Yeah, then there's Nova Master, which is the super poly would be the super poly target between an elemental hero and a fire monster on the field. So Nova Master might be looking pretty good now with all this fire support, especially against Fire Kings. So that's the basics of all those I wanted to talk about. So yeah, thanks to Wingman can't be destroyed by card effects. That's good right there. And we got to be careful when using Ab Zero and DPE because if we destroy their cards, if we destroy the cards that get effects, it's the same problem we have with Unchained. We got to be careful against cards that get their effects by being destroyed. But the big one that I'm pretty sure everyone was clamoring about, everyone wants to talk about, we have got to talk about the boy, the GOAT, Masked Hero Darklaw. What can I say? If there was a Mount Rushmore of anyone who lives in the States of freaking heroes, Darklaw has got to be right there, one of the first choices right away. Darklaw, Stratos, Darklaw, Stratos. Hey, anyone else want to leave like two more? Who do you think would be the Mount Rushmore heroes? I would say personally, it's got to be Darklaw. You got to have Stratos. You got to have Neos. And at this point, it's a toss up between DP or Plasma. It's really hard to choose, but I'm off the off point really quick. So but if you want to leave your comments on what your mount, yeah, let me know in the comments. Any hero fans out there, what's your pick for what would you say would be like the Mount Rushmore of heroes? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to see people's opinion on that. But basically, remember, the reason Cashier Riser got hit is because people cannot deal with Darklaw based effects. And don't forget, the number one card everyone's talking about to handle Fire Kings right now, D-Shifter. Now we have our own built-in D-Shifter. So with Darklaw, as we all know, if our opponent tries to use graveyard-based effects, unlike Unchained, because remember, when we play against Unchained, their effects don't work by if they're destroyed and sent to the graveyard like most effects usually work. No, their effects work by as long as they're destroyed. But Fire Kings have to hit the grave when they're destroyed. So just like if we're playing against, what's a good example? A lot of graveyard-based effects destroyed and has to hit the grave. Thanks to Darklaw, like we're playing against tier limits or something, just play Darklaw, super affects them badly. Because not only can we not, it's even better if we got the boy Plasma on field. Think about it. A lot of their cards that they like and their monster effects that they need to go off right away need to use the little chicken, little tiny bird, Mega Ultra Chicken, needs those effects to go off first in order to destroy the card, like search out their spells and then destroy the other Fire King avatars in their hand. But using this with Plasma, not only will we negate that, they try doing anything to destroy cards, and thanks to Darklaw, banished right away. And if they try searching anything too, like even if they did, thanks to Darklaw, we'll get to banish a free card from their hand. So, and even if they get like Cashier or Rise Heart or something like that out, with Plasma negating their effect, even better if we have DPE on their field to negate. I mean, not negate, lower their attack points, even better. Oh, and I almost forgot. Remember, the little chicken and the big avatar Grunix evolved form, ho-ho looking dude. Let's be real, they're winged beasts, but everything else in the deck is a mix. I know they're based off like Hinduism, like Hindu, deities. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names, but the elephant one, Beast Warrior. The Kirin, Beast. So the rest of them are all mixed. And people are even trying to mix in the Tri-Brigade package in there. So, our good old buddy, Rivalry of the Warlords, is going to be putting some serious work in against that deck. So, I would say this is usually the kind of field we try to end on, but even more so now with Darklaw. So, I know that a lot of people have been having like hero players, we're always back and forth on how many Darklaw to play. Like some people play one Some people play 2. I think now we got to go back to playing, again, just an opinion. But I'm definitely going to try putting it back in 2 mass change in order, because just in case they get rid of 1, if I get a second one out and they used up all the resources, hey, you know what I mean? Thumbs up. And with Rivalry of the Warlords, totally will completely like slow them down, because we've seen against other decks that a lot of time people are like main deck cards. They don't make, or like they main deck, they have their combo pieces. That's usually what people do main deck wise. They want all the combo pieces. They'll side the back row destruction. Some people don't even side the back row destruction. So luckily, thanks to that, Rivalry puts in a lot of work. So, and also probably a discussion could be made about maybe not main decking, but siding Cosmic Cyclone over Lightning Storm and Feather Duster. Still amazing cards, don't get me wrong, but Cosmic Cyclone might be the better option going forward. So, I mean, it's a lot better to use that against Unchained and Labyrinths anyways. So that might be a better option, honestly, going forward. I'm probably going to try messing with that at my next locals I go to. So that's the main thing. We got our standard hand traps we already use. Imperm the Bureau, really good against the deck. Don't forget, Hero Blast can bounce back row, so that's good. Cosmic Cyclones, if we set that up going first, get rid of the back row, they can't do anything because it has to be face up, etc., etc. And the number 1, Dark Law. Dark Law will totally take care of Fire Kings. So if we got Dark Law Rivalry, that's pretty much a lot of stuff they're going to have to try to get past. And I think like a lot of them do main deck it, but just hypothetically, if you want to run it, there's also always, if you don't have Plasma turn 1, but you manage to get Dark Angel on their field, stops their spell cards. And not only that, think of it, they'll be locked into Warriors too. If you don't have you got a couple, if you don't have Plasma in the field, because Plasma would just negate Dark Law, Dark Angel. But hey, Rivalry, they'll still be locked into Warriors. And if they try to go into like Salamander, to like the Link ones, hey, they'll be stuck in the Cybers. So hey, still good works, right? So that's all I wanted to talk about today. I got some other videos planned out for later this week. I just wanted to talk about this because Fire is looking pretty scary going forward. So we got to be ready for that. So main takeaways from this: Dark Law MVP, and Nova Master might actually be looking good for once. Because let's be real, he's always been like the one, like, never got a lot of play, but that's always been because Fire has always been like the one attribute that didn't really always get a lot of stuff. It's always been like, let's be real, most of the time it's usually dark or light, let's be honest here. But now, it's probably Nova Master's time to shine. So I just wanted to talk about that. So that's everything for this video. If you don't want to miss out on future Yugioh content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and just it should be Friday as I'm recording this video. Just have a good weekend. Take care. Bye.